Hey everybody, hope you had a great weekend and are ready to begin the first week of our final three. Can you believe it? We'll be done in 3 weeks and it will be summer break, which might not look a lot different than the last 9 weeks. Hey, do you remember your very first automobile? I bet you would never ever guess my first automobile. I don't think you could ever come up with the make of it, let alone the model. You ready? Here it is. Never saw one of those? That is a Checker cab. Checker was a company that made pretty exclusively yellow cabs, but they did make a few models for personal use, which we happened to buy off of a neighbor. And the unique thing about it was very large, I drove it in college, and I was in a brass quintet, and the seat in the back was very large. So we could fit all 5 members of the brass quintet. My tuba would go on the floor of the back seat, and all the other instruments in the trunk. So, my first vehicle. We all have a special place in our hearts for our first anything. And General McLean School District was the first place I worked after I graduated from college, and it was the only place. So General McLean always has a very, very special place in my heart, as do all the people who I met along the way at General McLean. And so you probably heard by now through the media that this Wednesday the board will be extending my contract. It's going to be a 3-year contract. That does not mean I'm going to be around for 3 years, not even a year. The state law is superintendents have contracts of 3 or 5 years. But there's a 30-day out clause on both sides of it. And the reason I'm doing that, as you might have guessed, is that the search process was impossible to conduct during this whole pandemic thing. And so I agreed to stay on until that process can be done with fidelity. The board has a great process put together that involves teachers and administrators in the interviews, and as you know, there's no way we had been able to do that in the past several weeks. So for now, everyone can feel secure. There will be no interruption of leadership and no lag time between when I would have left and when the new person comes on. I will stay on until that new person is selected, and that person can come on board, and we will have a very smooth transition of leadership. So have a great week. Keep up the good work. Appreciate all you're doing, and we'll talk to you next week.